What's up, YouTube? I'm back on Long Island. I had a very nice birthday celebration in the city with my husband yesterday. Getting to this video, I told you guys I was going to go to, I wanted to go to the bodega. And I didn't know how I would feel. I really didn't know what to expect. I'm going to be honest with you. There have been other tragedies in New York City, and I have never visited the scene of the crime or anything like that before in my life. There were some people there, people taking pictures, even though they removed all the candles and the barricades. There still were people bringing candles. There were signs where people were signing. I didn't have a pen on me, and parking was really, really crazy. I told you guys I wanted to walk from the bodega to the hospital, but we were so worried that we were going to get a ticket. And that's another thing. You know, they have police out there giving tickets. I mean, fight the crime, okay? Instead of worrying about who parks on the wrong side of the street parking, or who parked here or who parked there. I mean, but whatever. That's another issue. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys in the video. I mean, it was right there. I could literally stand in the street and pan to the entrance of the bodega where he was, attacked, and then simply just turn my head and see the sign for the hospital. So it really was not far. And I will say that I became angry at that point. Even more angry at that point, first of all. I know some people have said that, some people, a lot of people feel that the owner and the staff in the bodega could have done more, clearly. I mean, it just angered me, because if somebody would have put pressure on that wound and carried that boy to the hospital, it was 4 workers in there, that boy could have lived. And that's just my opinion. I'm a nurse. My husband is a nurse, and he was with me, and we were debating when we left. He feels that regardless, he feels that Junior would have bled to death because of his injuries. And I disagree. Because he ran, all of his energy, his adrenaline was up, his blood was pumping. He bled out. If they would have put pressure on the wound and carried him, even if they couldn't get to the car, because let me tell you something, parking in the city, I love New York City, but I also hate New York City as far as when you want to do functions. We went to a club last night, and we had to park in a garage blocks away and take a cab to the venue. It's just real inconvenient, New York City. So for me to say, for someone who lives on Long Island and does not live in the city, and we have the convenience of parking right outside of our house or in a driveway, or when you go to the store, there's plenty of parking lots. We're very spoiled when it comes to the people in the city. So it's very easy for someone like me who does not live in New York City to say, well, why didn't they just hop in their car? First of all, their cars could have been parked blocks away. And I'm not defending them, but I could see, if someone's not medically trained, I could see how they would say, just run to the hospital. You'll get there before the ambulance, because it literally is. I'm telling you right there. My husband said it doesn't even seem like it's a full city block. He said it's like a half a block, and he works in the city. So I would say it's a block over, but it's literally right there where you can see it, where somebody like me who's not physically fit, I can walk there from the bodega to the hospital in 2 minutes, okay? And that's not trying to walk fast, okay? That's just, walking at a normal pace. So I could see how they would say run. But my husband made a good point. He said they didn't want to help him to begin with. You could see as Junior, when he was trying to jump over the counter, at first he was pushing him back. They didn't want to help him. They let them drag him out. He was shooing them like, get out of here, get out of here. So they didn't want to help him before the attack. So why would you think they wanted to help him afterwards? And that's just really sad. And, he said, well, they have to live with that for the rest of their life. They're going to be haunted by that. But I don't think that's enough, because they still can breathe. They still can see their family. They still can travel. This boy, he probably never even had his first job. He was looking for a job. He probably never, who knows, did he have a chance to have a first girlfriend? I mean, here it is, grown adults. Of course, selfishly, we all want to make it home to our loved ones. Don't Don't get me wrong. I would want to make it home to my loved ones as well. But it just seemed like they just didn't even try. And that's just really, really sad. Really, really sad that that boy was dragged out of there and just standing where, looking, I was looking at the door and where he was just gripping that door jamb, trying to hold on. He wanted to live. And how he tried to flag people down and nobody helped him. And how he just took off and just, I guess, just can't imagine what his last moments was. I know it was filled with fear. I know that, but I'm just wanting to live, and living a block away. And as we were driving to the place, which it wasn't that easy to find because the GPS doesn't realize that, there's one-way streets or you can't go down here and then they're doing road work. But as we were driving, I just looked around at the people walking around the neighborhood, and I looked around the buildings and said, this is where he was from. He was 15, but he was here his whole life. So he felt comfortable walking around these streets, and I just felt angry after I left. I just felt angry because I just seen how close he was and how possibly if they could have got him inside the ER. Because, if you've seen the video, and I didn't attach none of the videos. First of all, I'm not all that tech savvy. I'm going to be honest with you guys, so I apologize. But if you've seen the video when he was on that bench bleeding and the two police officers was just standing there, okay, that's another anger. He went as far as he could go. He could not go any further. And he ended up on a bench. And people walking by, because in the city, there's always people walking. Doesn't matter what time of night. We were hanging out last night, and people were walking like it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And they recognized him, and he went as far as he can go. And that's just really, really hurtful. And as his mother, I said to my husband, I wonder how could she stay here and see the murals? I seen 2 different ones. They have one right outside the bodega, and then they have that other one. I'll attach a picture of it. That's a couple of blocks away. Just to live there in that community, you know what I mean? And to walk those same streets. I don't know. I don't know if that would make me feel close to my child or if that would be too much for me. I really don't know if I could do it. I don't know what I would do. None of us do. But it just made me angry. And I want to clarify something, guys. I told you about Junior's Law, which saying that if you're a business owner, you have to protect a child, call 911, keep them safe. Another part of it is they want them to become first aid certified. CPR and first aid, which is a good thing, okay? First of all, not even for their customers, but even for their staff. God forbid, how many times have somebody been robbed in a store or attacked in a store? The staff attacked in a store or robbed in a store. That's why they didn't have a gun or a bat. I mean, you're in a technically, rough area and you don't have that. I don't know. It's just things that we'll never understand. We weren't there. We'll never understand it. But it just is very upsetting and very hurtful. Somebody so full of life taken before they really can experience anything. It's just very, very sad. A mother who will never hold her child again, see her child again. And for her to see his death also. See the videos and see that nobody helped her son. That has to be hurtful. Really, really hurtful. And for all the rumors that say, oh, well, Junior was in a gang, or it was gang affiliated, or he started hanging out with the wrong crowd. If you've seen the interview with the mother, when he said, Mommy, can I have $5 for someone? Whoever called him, that's something we don't know. Who called him? A friend? Was it the girl? She said she had called his phone and he answered her, because he was taking too long. So it just he doesn't put me in the mind of somebody who was in the streets. I mean, first of all, to be in a gang, don't you have to show up for gang meetings and participate in gang activities? His mother said he always was with her. And it showed that she had a tight rope on him, that, she was looking at her clock like, okay, he should be back by now. And she called him. I just don't buy those new twists. I don't buy those new stories. I already told you guys, I'm not going to keep going on and on about it. But just to go there and see how close he was to help. And again, for my medical professionals out there, we could debate about it. Me and my husband. My husband's a nurse as well. He feels that it was a lost cause, no matter if he would have got to the hospital in time. But I think if they could have stopped the bleeding and got him blood, I think he would have lived. And they would have been able to do that if he made it inside the hospital. He made it right outside the hospital. And if people wasn't walking by, or if it wasn't a high traffic area, again, like I told you, in the city, there's somebody always out. Who knows? They probably wouldn't have found him. I know some areas on Long Island, maybe he wouldn't have been found till the next day. So it's just really, 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 really sad. And it just made me angry that they could have tried. They could have tried. But like my husband said, I have to agree with him from the start, before the stabbing. They didn't help him. They shooed him out of the store like he was just somebody who they never seen before, like a troubled kid. Like, hey, get out of here, get out of here. And the fact that they let him run to the hospital, I mean, we could try to defend them. You could try to not defend them, but play the devil's advocate and say maybe they didn't think he was going to die. Maybe they thought, he wasn't bad. I don't know the extent. I don't know if they did an autopsy, but I'm pretty sure from the amount of blood that he lost, the neck wound was the carotid artery. So my thing is, even in a movie, how many of us have watched a movie? Forget medical background. How much of us have watched a movie, to put pressure on a bleeding wound to stop the bleeding? So, okay, I mean, come on. That's just like basic. Basic. How about let us walk with you to the hospital? Because when he got weak and went to that bench, maybe even if they didn't carry him, as I said, they could have carried him, but it was 4 grown fucking men, excuse my language, in that bodega. Even if they didn't physically carry him, somebody walk him. It's right there. It was right there. So stay tuned, guys. I'm going to attach some pictures of the memorial, and also show you the video so you guys can see how close Junior was to getting help. And, okay, fine, they got the 12th guy. I don't know. I'm hoping that this isn't now, after something happens, them wanting to clean up the streets now, meaning let's just arrest anybody. My husband said he has a feeling anybody who had cell phone conversations with these guys, even if they weren't there, they're going to lock them up because they're affiliated. If that's the case, if they want to clean the streets up now, how about that's a little bit too freaking late? How many young people have to die? How many young people? There's a boy on Long Island that's missing, and they think it's gang related. Okay, they can't find him. I don't know if they found him yet. I've been kind of consumed with my birthday and that I have to look on that. But another young boy, I think he was 15 years old. Okay, so they think that he was killed, and somebody from the gang sent a text message to the family, look for him in Hempstead Lake Park. So that's another story I want to check out. So if now... It's great that they want to pass Junior's law. It's great that they want to make the bodega a youth center, if that even happens. I'm not even too sure if that's going to happen. All of those things is great. They want to name the street from the hospital to the bodega. They want to change the name to Justice for Junior's Way. Okay, that is great. But it's not going to bring them back. And that's something I heard the mother say the other day when they told her about the 11th suspect being arrested. She said, that's great, but that's not going to bring back my son. And I just really hope that she doesn't become bitter and that she doesn't become angry. And because stress and all of that anger can take a toll on your health. I just hope that she stays strong. We really have to keep her in prayer. And I hope her supporters don't eventually leave, because that's what happens usually when people die. Let's be honest, people. Everybody's around you initially, and then everybody goes back to their life, and that's just the way it is. And the person that's grieving and mourning is left to continue to grieve and mourn. So please, let's keep her in our thoughts and prayers, and hopefully she does not become bitter and angry, because something like this can make you angry, and where you want to see justice, and might not be the law justice. You might want to see them suffer and die, and I don't know how I would. You don't want to say what you would say, and it's easy for someone to say, "Oh well, I wouldn't wish death on anybody." To see your son slaughtered like that and killed like that, and he didn't do nothing to anybody, and he was a good kid, and if it was because of the lie that somebody told to save her boyfriend. How do you not? Because I was angry. I got angry leaving that scene. I got angry because he was right there. And I really feel, I don't care. I know the carotid artery is a major artery, but I really feel if someone would have put pressure on it and that boy didn't run, losing more blood, I think he would still be here today. He would. Okay, so stay tuned, guys, okay? Rest in peace, Junior. Thanks for watching. And thank you to all my new subscribers, okay? Okay, YouTube. We found one of the memorials for Junior. As you can see, there's a couple of candles over there. We're looking for the bodega. We're having trouble finding the bodega, but I want to go to the bodega and see the distance between the bodega and the hospital. Whoever did this is very talented. It's very beautiful. So sad. Okay, this is the bodega. All right. There are still people here. They have a poster board that people are signing their names for him. This is it right here. This is where that poor baby was dragged out of. And you literally can see the hospital from the bodega. Seriously. The hospital is literally right there. You can't see the hospital sign. Maybe you can. Can you guys see that? The sign right there is the hospital. St. Barnabas Hospital, right there. Literally only a block away. This is a shame, y'all. This is a shame. Okay, as you can see, that's the bodega there. And I'm gonna pan with my phone. The hospital's right there, y'all. Pan again with my phone. The bodega. That is crazy.